All right.
You know what else is fun? Not politics and war.
Do you guys normally run a like? Because I haven't been here for the start of the last couple shows. Do you guys have someone run the Thalmor song before it? How do you guys do it on this one?
More changes up.
I think we tried.
There's probably no radio
Um,
bot in here.
I don't think there is.
Okay. I mean, we don't need it. I just was curious if you guys had done it in the past. Okay.
I think
So I mean,
last
we'll
time
get started.
Sig played through a song. All right, let's
Really?
go.
What a G.
Yeah,
Um.
it was
Okay.
it was awful.
So I've been missing a lot of the couple shows in Royal Orbis Radio, but I finally have time to do it because it's not happening at 3 p.m. on a Saturday or Sunday. Um, so long story short, I was originally going to do a show anyways tonight. I had time marked off at 9 p.m. And what I was going to do is, in my head, I had this amazing, beautiful formula that I was running people's um, basically their total damage numbers in the war for the whatever it's called. Fucking, I don't know what the name of the war is yet,
Swamp
but right now
Beacon thing.
Armenia's Revenge is winning right now, um, or at least it was this morning. But basically, it was total damage divided by number of members divided by average score for the alliance, and you got a number ranking. So to put it in perspective, like um, my baseline was House Stark because they were kind of in the middle on everything, and they had something like a 17,000 score, and then I ran, or they were 19. I'm sorry, they were 19,000, and then I ran people like Eclipse who were at the top of the damage leaderboard but had a lot more members, and they were somewhere around 29,000. So it was almost like a 40 to 50% uh, more higher rating of the total damage divided by members divided by score. And then we were trying to work on some way to incorporate like beiges because Eclipse was at a 51%. This was yesterday or the day before when I calced this, but Eclipse was at a 51% beige rate for all their offensive wars. So half of all the wars they declared offensively, they were beiging. You had Cataclysm, which was at 42 or 43%, which was one of the lowest. And then you had on the higher end, the Syndicate was 68% by the time I ran their number again. So they were one of the highest. I mean, there was like a micro or two which were higher, but pretty much anyone with like 20 members or more, I was calculating. And my whole point was I was going to go through and basically give everyone a score and use one of those cool tiering graphs and put everyone like, okay, these guys are up in S tier because they're the highest ranking with the least amount of beiges. These guys are in F tier because they suck ass and they're just rolling over. So, anyways, and yeah, Borg just said like some people like in tests in the higher ends didn't have a lot of like targets to hit and stuff like that. So I get it. I understand that like they would have been lower down because they have a lot of members, but they're all high tier and there's no targets. So I would have elaborated on that. These were just like an interesting way to not just take net or total damage and then apply it to the game. So that was originally my plan, but without going too far into a rant, we've turned it into basically to talk about Clock and Blackwater have pieced with Oasis after a week, and then it looks like just Clock has hit Rose. So I'd actually like to um, hear from like Thalmor. When did you? Because you're in Hand of Fate, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So how did it kind of go down from your end since you were probably more in the know than like someone in Rose? We just kind of knew that it was coming and then, tried to organize a counter offensive when we could. But how did it sort of happen at your end? You guys knew peace was coming and then you sort of wanted to just keep it going because either you were bored with the war you had or what was the deal in terms of best as you can speculate. I know you don't always get involved in the higher end stuff. Or I guess like, what do you even think about
See,
it
I
overall?
know. Even my speculation, I don't know what's OPSEC and what's not, but I do
Oh.
think there are. I think there is some politics at play, and maybe we'll see that come out later. But I don't think hitting Rose was just a fun thing. I think there is some politics at play, but beyond that, I don't really know. Um, and I think the white piece with Oasis and Mystery was because they just rolled over. It wasn't. There was really there was nothing more to do.
You gave him a white piece.
Yeah, I. What else was they going to do?
I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be like Guns N' Roses, where I mean, it was a white piece, but it won't be remembered that way.
So last week, when
How
I
do you
told you
think
guys this war was only going to last like a week and a half, and you all told me I was crazy, just know I was dead right. And I'll tell you right now, they didn't give any peace conditions on Mystery Inc. because they are hoping that Mystery Inc. will do something interesting soon.
I mean, we all knew that this war wasn't gonna last a long time to begin with. Anyone who thought it was gonna go longer than 3 weeks was higher than a kite. I mean,
Oh
it
well,
just
I guess I was higher than a
go-
kite. I still
I would
you
go at
thought it was
least
gonna
2
go
weeks.
longer.
wrong.
Everyone told me a month last radio show.
I was in at 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I think that's where I was at.
Yep, I told you all it'd only be a week and a half. I fucking knew it.
I mean, even in
Yeah.
Rollywood, that war, when Rose and Blackwater were beating up on Hollywood, we didn't even think about asking for peace until I think 3 weeks in.
Oh yeah,
So,
it was a
Yeah, I'm
while.
gonna call it. That is the like
we were
Oasis
losing hard, but
agreeing to peace.
we weren't gonna peace out after a week.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a straight up pussy move to peace out after a week. I can't believe Oasis did that. I don't care what their reasons for it were. If you have an alliance who taps out after a week, then they're not fucking ready to play in the big leagues, and they should go sign over with the Johnsons. The fact that they're
When
piecing out
when we
after
were
a week is fucking pathetic.
when we started fighting with Oasis earlier this year, when we was KT, I think that the same night we started fighting, Tyrion approached Dennison and was like, "So, do you like when do you want to?
I
How
remember that
serious you want
shit.
to
You
take this?
guys
'Cause we're not
posted
very
in public,
serious."
and it became a meme. Hey,
A
I don't know
fucking
how
a
you guys
thousand.
feel, but we've accomplished our objectives, and we're ready to peace if you guys want to talk. It was something along those lines.
Yes, that is it. And that was to Tyrion. That was 1,000 versus 30, and they were ready to tap out after an hour or 12 hours or whatever. I guess it's the same damn thing this time.
Everyone's just a pussy.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess they approached first.
I mean, here's the deal.
It's such a
Here's
bad.
the deal.
It's just
Here's the deal,
so
guys.
bad.
Like, war is fun, but if it's not serving a strategic purpose, then it's pointless when you're in a block like that. Like, I get it. I get where Oasis is coming from. If you're just losing, there's no strategic purpose to keep going. And they're not the ones that
Yeah,
they're not the ones they're not the ones that started the peace talk. That was all.
So they weren't.
talk.
That's correct. It
It's
sounds
all
like they
talk.
were approached from the other end, but that was them, in my opinion, with a pity approach. And then
No,
if I'm Oasis,
the real
and I got-
joke here is Clock talking about principles and then piecing out after a week.
yeah,
Like,
well, it's Oasis too. I mean, they
100%.
both did it.
Yeah, but
But if
Clock
I
is the
was
one that
still in
was shit
Oasis-
talking about. Clock is the one that was shit talking about our principles and having to prove a point, and then peace after a week. Like,
Yeah, well, I guess they
it's
felt they proved it.
there's no principles being proved there, guys. Like, come on.
My thing is if I was still in Oasis, let's say I was still in the upper coalition block, whatever, Discord channel, and someone approached me for peace after a week after they hit me, I'd be like, no fucking way, because in Guns N' Roses, we got dunked on, in terms of like how the game viewed us militarily. Okay, I specifically remember Kaz was more or less. One second. Okay, I specifically remember talking with
did?
Kaz when we pieced last war, or sorry, Guns N' Roses when I was still in TFP. Kaz was like, "No way, I want to keep going. I don't care what they say." And then they ended up piecing out because of factors that were outside of TFP to a degree. I don't want to like go into that too much, but basically, um, we were forced to piece because of other alliances, and so we ended up doing it, but I knew that come the next war, we were going to have something to prove. And then here they are piecing out after a week when they should make it feel like, oh, you're going to hit us, we're going to make you pay for it. And so that's like, I know that when Hollywood got hit, I feel like they had that same mentality. Oh, you're going to have Rose and Blackwater tag team us and hit us? Well, we're going to drag this shit out. And I know that like Blackwater had the stamina and they wanted to keep going. It seemed like a lot of people wanted to keep going, but I don't remember the specifics to why that war got pieced. I wasn't actually involved in the peace terms for that at all. But I liked Hollywood basically going like, we're gonna dig our heels in and we're gonna ride this shit out. And then Blackwater was like, well, we wanted to take down Grumpy and burn their infra, and it's not where we want it yet, and it just kept going. And so next time someone hits Blackwater, next time someone hits Hollywood, they're gonna know that they're either gonna piss off Hollywood or Blackwater is gonna set goals, and they're definitely gonna try and meet them. And so Oasis should have set a goal for themselves. I don't care if it was let's go 2 or 3 weeks, and then to just give peace is it is so ridiculous in my mind. Like a week is nothing, and you should have made them pay for it. There, you have so much more damage on the table. Like I'm looking at test. I'm looking at. I thought I was talking with someone earlier, and I'm like, oh, that was great that they Clock got to shave all their infra, and then now they get to chain a war with Rose when they're slimmed down, and it is they are slimmed down, but not as much as I thought. So here we have Clock with like 25% of their infra gone. Now, granted, that's like 50% of the total cost. So if they have like 600 million in infra, 20% of that gone is like more like 50% of the total cost and damage able to be taken. But like my thing is they still have so much damage left in Clock and in Blackwater, and they pieced and just left it there. Fucking ripe. It is ripe for the taking, and all their infra is gone, and now they piece. Like, no one after this war is gonna go, oh yeah, these guys are they're fucking gritty fighters. I don't know. Do you agree with me more?
Also, nothing to lose for them to piece at this point, though. Like the nap, there's no nap. There's no, there's nothing stopping them from in like 3 days rebuilding Millen and jumping right back on Clock with Rose. Like
I fucking hope
that's
they don't.
that is the downside to the no naps at all policy. That you could just surrender and then pop right back in if you want. Just
I don't see
annoying.
the problem with that.
I don't see a problem with that at all. I'm just saying, like, there's nothing to gain for them to. The only thing they had to gain by staying in the war is that we wouldn't shit on them as hard, because even if they fought for 3 weeks, people would still shit on them because of how bad they lost. So
Yeah, but there's a lot more people who after a week are gonna think that was pretty.
sure. I mean, I'm
bad.
not saying they did great. I'm just saying like it was not serving a strategic purpose, considering that Oasis, well, no, considering that Clock and Blackwater were pushing to get out, specifically Clock, because they knew Clock was going to hit somebody else. Like that's the only reason Clock would push to get out after a week. Like
I agree with
there's
that.
no reason for them to stick around and do anyone else a favor, considering that no one did them a favor and helped out. Like No one helped them, so why should they stick around and help for an extra week or two when Clock is clearly wanting to do something else?
Because like for me, if you're gonna have a sphere and they already had two tied together, I understand that it was like a 2v2, but like if that's who you're gonna choose to partner up defensively, then that's what you gotta be prepared for to go down with or win with. Like, and so it's to me just like insane that all of a sudden they want to peace out, or they're gonna peace out because um, someone else is gonna get hit, so they can get out from under the coalition's boot. Again, for me, like, no fucking way would I sign off on a piece after a week. I don't care if I was in whatever. I don't know who like the worst alliance is now, but like even if I was there, I wouldn't do it. Just go nuke. Nukes are not that expensive. Missiles are not that expensive. Just like you remember Morph when you started playing and it was Duck Hunt and like you guys set up a damage leaderboard and you guys set goals and you turned it into something fun.
We still do that.
Yeah.
We did that during Brawlywood because
Yeah.
Brawlywood was
Yeah.
bad too.
Boom. It wasn't as
Yeah.
long, but yeah, it was still like in terms of being outnumbered. Yeah, it was a 2 spheres on 1. I do want to give Clock props for coming in. I've looked at the tiering graphs. It is relatively close. Like Rose, it depends on like how many of their lower levels escape out with like military, but like from a C20 to C35ish, it looks pretty close. Depends on how oppressive like the test up top can push down. So I think for the C40 plus they have like 20 and we have 5. But then like we outnumber them in the next 2 tiers below that. And then in like the C20 and below, in theory, Rose should get spanked. So it just depends on if they can sandwich down or if like Rose can expand out from where they are strong with. Looks like someone just posted up Coalition DNN 40 plus 6 on 12. Okay, so I was looking at numbers a little differently. B is Rose. Okay, so let me look at this really quick. Thank you, Anri. I'm going to take these numbers as the gospel because I haven't verified them. I looked at numbers earlier that were also DNN. So it looks like C40 plus, Clock has 12, and then Rose has 6. Hopefully they didn't count Master in that. He's gone. And then 35 to 39, Rose has 23, whereas Clock has 14. And then 31 to 35 is Rose 33 to 22. And then it's that way until about C24 to 26. And then that's when Clock starts to really take away in terms of the tiers. So I appreciate that they chose like to come in one-on-one and then try and like just have a one-on-one war. I'm cool with that. I appreciate that. And to me, that's pretty awesome. Do you guys think it's fair? Morph, Thalmor, you guys think this is a relatively fair war?
I would say so.
It's fair. It's a fair
They
one.
out tier.
Do you think you guys are at a slight advantage or disadvantage? Because the advantage is you guys are a little bit less on infra, meaning your declares you can reach down a little further. But on the flip side, you guys are also still having wars drug out from the last day or two. So that will overlap. So you guys think that you're at a slight advantage or disadvantage?
I would say it's about even. What I will say is, after the Blitz and stuff, I mean, counters started coming in. Argov has had to organize defensive work, which it's been a while since they had to seriously do that. So Rose is putting up a good fight, and I would say it is about even. And yeah, we outnumber them by about a third, but they do have more higher tier nations. Unfortunately, their warhorse Wampus got sick and ran away. If he was here, he could have made a real difference, I'm sure.
Could have actually. He could have.
Oh,
He could have hit
oh
a
yeah,
couple of the top
Mongoose.
test people, and just straight up murdered them.
I mean,
Like-
he could have leveled Swings and friends. Yeah.
Like, because he can hit the top 10, and I think a couple of the top 10 are tests. So he could have just straight murdered them. But yeah, he's gone. So
Why
I
did
do
he
think
go?
I do think the war is a relatively even, but I think Clock has the advantage in the spots that you want, because being able to pincer in from the top and the bottom is a pretty effective strategy. So, and also, let's be honest, some of the people in Rose Sphere are not the best, like Polaris and some others. Like, it's not, some of those nations don't really count for as much, if we're being fair.
Yeah, but those are old communities with
They're
government
old
members who've been
communities,
around for
but
a long
they
time.
don't fight well. Like, those were the
I
easy
think
targets
that's a
those were
their
the easy
fault.
targets that we went for in Brawlywood, Polaris and COA. Like, those are the people that were like, "Oh, you went in an easy war over here." So, you know,
That's their problem. If someone wants to make the argument that this is a dog pile,
oh,
because
none of that. None of that. I'm just saying.
Rose is right, then I don't think you are Morph. But if someone wants that argument because some of Rose's people can't fight, I think it's their problem and it's not
Oh,
on us.
that's their problem. That's the nice thing about, well, the nice and the scary thing about clock spheres. There's not any. Okay, there's a very few alliances you'll point to and say those are the weak links. With other spheres, that's not as much the case. So,
Okay, sorry, I didn't realize my mic was muted. Everyone relatively pulls their weight in clock, and I think most people would look at that and agree. And it's not your guys' fault, and it is everyone's job to hold alliances in their sphere accountable for participation, which I will be doing, even including my own. So if you have a problem with your sphere, don't pull others down because yours isn't doing as well. That is not how the game progresses and gets better. So my thing is like don't punish alliances like Clock because they were able to get people who have uh, nations who enjoy war together. You know, you should be looking to do the same. Either convert your passive people into warmongers or find other warmongers that aren't taken. So.
And I definitely agree with that, because generally, as a community, we do like punishing people for doing things that are big. You know, whether it be Oasis and Mink with their MDP or fucking, Clock hitting everybody, whatever. We do as a community have a problem of loving to punish the victors quite often in the next round of conflicts, which is sort of a problem, as you just said, because it does throw us back into a process and cycle of stagnation.
I mean, there are consequences for actions. I mean, if you're gonna put yourself as in the target seat, you can't be Pikachu surprise face when you get hit.
I mean, yeah,
Like-
like I'm not saying consequences don't have actions. Like, all these people, they do something, consequences follow. I'm just saying us as a community should maybe rethink how we're giving out these consequences, though, because it may lead to further stagnation. Because that's why everything is so cyclical in this game. We have a global war between one of the top four, and it fucking recycles, and it never changes. And the only way that's ever going to change is if we break that cycle, which none of us are really willing to do because, as you just said, they do something, they got to fucking, get the consequences for it. And most of us, when somebody else does something, we think to ourselves, fuck them, they deserve those consequences. But we don't think to ourselves that those consequences that we're imposing aren't necessarily good for the game as a whole. They may be good for us as like, a block or a sphere, AA, whatever, but as the community as a whole, generally those things aren't good.
You can say the game is stagnant all you want, but this is a global war where I'm not fighting Rose, and that's a first for me. So, we're moving
Fair
on,
enough,
baby. We're moving on.
Fair enough.
Unless Clock wants me to come hang out with Vice, so I can do that. That's okay.
Let's see here.
I'll invite you to come hang out with Vice.
I don't want to hang
You
out
do
with
what?
Vice. Last time Vice and I battled, I lost a ship, and it was sad.
Oh, that is sad. All right.
No, you won.
Yeah, but then you
won the
did
1v1.
full naval afterwards and killed my ship.
Oh yeah. Well, I had things to do. I had bitches to load on the boats.
I was one
Can't do
shipping
it
you
for
like
firing guns.
I was one shipping you like a man, and you just nailed my armada of one ship. It was not very
rough.
gamer.
At the end of the day, I conceded defeat because you won the 1v1.
I gave that captain a state funeral, so it's fine.
Yeah. Don't bring a luxury yacht to a war war
I had
zone.
ships, to be fair. You guys just killed them all, and then I ran out of
So,
steel.
what's your thoughts on being not involved in terms of clock hitting, piecing, and turning around and going offensive within 20 minutes?
I think I made one point clear. I wasn't a huge fan of my principal's chest beating talk and then piecing after a week. But hey, whatever. That's fine. Just, shoot your shot, do your shit. It's cool. I mean, it's hard to knock the emperor shaving thing aspect of it. I get it. I mean, turning right around and doing it is a little different, but we did that against Rose and Guns N' Roses. It happens. It's fine. I mean, been nice if Clock would have been like, "Hey, we're not hitting you," so I'd have to like sit here for the last hour or two thinking I was gonna get hit instead. But it's whatever. We're cool. I'm just smoking a cigar if I did that kind of thing and hoping to enjoy a nice, even-looking war. Yes, I'm always paranoid, toxic pepper. You should have told me. Yeah, sure. Yeah, hit me.
Oh, wait a minute, but you guys are dealing with ARG. Tell me about that.
Oh yeah, how's that tickling going?
So, have you ever been like just touched on the ear with a feather? That's kind of how it feels. You know.
That's so fucking funny.
I didn't know we were being hit until someone told me we were being hit. You know, ARG is like, at least with this particular Blitz, kind of like the old dog, that used to do tricks and stuff. But now
Damn.
you're just like, ooh, old Yeller kind of
Damn,
vibe,
you're
right?
really doing ARC dirty right now.
I
They
mean,
doing that now?
if you're gonna talk up a Blitz, you should probably have more than like 8 people hit us. I'm just saying.
Are they doing that bad?
It wasn't great.
My only
Man,
thing that I thought was weird is like they've been doing this for 2 weeks, and then they had 8 wars declared before DC, and then half of them were their captain. Like, I understand that it's an anarchy alliance, and you can't expect them to have the same coordination as like maybe when KT was trying to do blitzes, but like,
Oh no.
that's
Ar-
I mean,
Arg has been really hurt by the proliferation of raiders and different groupings now.
Mhm.
Like,
see, I feel targeted by that comment more.
I mean, it's not targeted. It's just
I mean, it's a good point. Like a lot
Space
of
Invaders
the people
exists,
who used to
and
be, like a
what's
lot
the
of the
other
people
one?
who used to be in
Apophis
ARG when it was
exists,
the only
and
option.
yeah, then a lot of their whales retired and went other places. You know, it's ARG used to be
There
the big boy
was
on the block, but
yeah, there was a time years ago that ARG was kind of feared in its own way. So it's gone downhill.
I mean, I definitely remember a time when ARG was feared, but even nowadays, like when I ask an average noob, I'm like, hey, like, what do you think of when you think pirate? They'll say ARG every time. I'll very rarely hear Space Invaders come out of somebody's mouth when they mention pirate,
because you
which,
don't have a pirate themed alliance, man. You
we are pirate.
gotta
themed. I
rebrand.
mean, like, but like my whole point is though is that like most people when they think Raider, they don't think 99 Apophis or Space Invaders, other alliances that are raiding. They always think ARG 100% of the time. ARG will always have that image as long as they never disband anyways, but they'll always have that image of pirate superiority that will probably never really fade no matter how bad they do. And the only reason they don't do as good nowadays as they used to is part of the reason is, as you guys said, most of their whales and stuff left. But another big thing that has to do with it is the fact that we all have bots now for wars. Back in the day, like ARG, as of today, ARG does not use bots. They do not use any bots whatsoever. So all their members that are raiding, they're still doing so manually. Whereas if I go hit somebody with SI, our bots will give us targets and we'll have the whole alliance ready in fucking, 20 minutes. ARG, they have to spend a whole day doing that shit the old fashioned way. And part of ARG's problem is that they haven't modernized. That's their biggest problem. If they were to get bots and, modernize the way they raid and act as an alliance a little bit, they would be doing fine. It's because they refuse to modernize is why they're not keeping up with the rest of us.
I didn't even get a slot.
Yeah,
Man.
I think it's
Sad.
just one of the things that there's so many more options to go raid with now that it. I mean, I were to choose a raiding alliance, I genuinely don't know where I would go. I mean, probably 99A if they would take me because they used to be close with TFP people, and I love the guys there. They're just like a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, if they weren't there, like, or if they wouldn't take me, I don't know where I would go because there are options. So I mean, not a lot of options, but there are options, which I feel like before Space Invaders and some other people, there wasn't really anyone other than ARG. This is only back to like a year ago, but still. Yeah, I just
Worcestershire says the Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for ARG. I think Alex had to change the game's mechanics twice over the game's history just to nerf ARG.
I would say the technological revolution has been harder on them.
It most certainly has.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, like as Space Invaders and such, like we use bots to get our targets. And, that's one of the reasons we grew as an alliance and retain our members. Like our membership retention is a lot higher than ARG's, I believe. And part of the reason for that is because, our bots not only give you raid targets that are fucking, nice low military and nice high loot, but, we're always able to find 5 targets in 30 seconds, at the click of a button. Whereas, ARG has to spend 30 minutes to an hour searching through fucking AA pages. That kind of time difference when you're talking 50 people, 50 to 100 people per an AA, whatever, like that's a lot of time wasted. That's a lot of time that your members could be spending on making the alliance better, making themselves better, whatever. And instead they're, being drugged down, fucking finding targets.
So M made a good point. I mean, he says ARG is here with us for so long, having ups and downs that they are iconic at this point, no matter whether they're good or not. And I like, again, when Pantheon exploded, everyone was like, finally. But I like when old alliances like that with history stick around, because I feel like at the end of this 3-month nap, I looked at the top 20, 30 alliances, and I fucking just like couldn't believe some of the people that were up there. I was like, who, how, and why are these fucking alliances 30 and below, like, or above, however you want to say it.
They're
And
eating the rich, man.
I know, dude. Like, and there's just like bloat and just fucking trash. And I think the rise, other than like your core primary alliances, TKR, Rose, whatever, I think you're gonna start seeing alliances like maybe not to the competency, but you're gonna see things like 99A or Oblivion or maybe even Voodoo to a degree, where it's like 10 to 20 people roughly. It's nice and tight. People that are close friends are there. I think having these weird, wonky alliances that are big but not necessarily staples or cornerstones in the game are like gonna fade away over time. You know, it might take a while, but I think you're gonna have either a cornerstone alliance that might be big and is a macro, and then you're just gonna have more, hopefully more competent smaller alliances that jump in and around the spheres. Hopefully, it may not be. I mean, you look at alliances like DPE, which just like seem to get 100 members a day, or you know, like when I made TFP, it was during the ad campaign that Alex was doing, and we picked up like 120 members in, I don't know, like a month or two. We went from nothing to uh rank 25 or something, and like again, it was like 2 months. It was silly. So whatever. I think we'll see more stuff like that, but I guess we'll see. But Morph, what do you think about clock? I know we swapped over to ARG, but like, do you guys think that this is going to set a precedent for chaining to be a normal thing?
I
So
hope
what's
it.
to keep like,
I
now
hope
that
it
there's no
doesn't.
naps,
Like, I
you
hope
know,
chaining
what's to
doesn't
keep
happen.
Rose from doing the next domino?
I
We'll
mean,
have no infra, we'll peace out, and then what if we want to hit Blackwater, or if we want to hit Hollywood or Oasis because they pieced after a week? Is that
there's
now going
nothing.
to look bad because they may have
There's
just
nothing.
rebuilt?
There's nothing stopping it. I just think. I don't think the concept of chaining wars is a great idea either. Obviously, the naps suck. Like they suck.
So, like,
But
what's
I
the
do think.
alternative for chain wars if we're not gonna have maps, like as we all like sort of half agreed? Fucking what else is there to do besides chain war?
I mean, I'll be
You start
honest.
a
I
war,
was.
you
I was
finish
going
it, and
around.
then
Once I
don't hit
heard
someone
peace
immediately
talks.
after.
Once I heard peace talks were going on, I was trying to get a D mill for Christmas. You know, trying to get one to just because I know TKR didn't want to fight a war on Christmas. Power
I
to
mean,
props to Clock for wanting no Christmas war, but I was trying to see if everyone would D mill just to.
I know you wanted to be out of the conflict. I stated that like 2 weeks ago, so I knew you guys weren't going to be in it. But is there any other reason besides just needing a break for wanting to not fight anyone this month?
I mean,
Well, that's the thing is like
our people are
you
tired,
either
man.
have, well, you have this situation where Clock has been on the forefront of naps. I'm also like, I don't personally care about naps, take them or leave them. I prefer not to have long ones. If it's like a month, maybe two, fine, but that's like the max I would really want to ever sign off on. I'd probably never make a nap going forward for me as like a condition. Especially we signed off on that forum thread, so my goal would be to not have it. But you still need to have a situation where alliances can rebuild and then get their ROI. But if we're constantly chaining wars, now there's really no shackles to create an environment where like people can't do that. And so, you know, Clock wants there to be no naps, which people are on board with. But then when you start chaining wars, it's going to make people hesitant to exit a war, or for people who are not involved to feel like they might be in a like position to rebuild. Like if I was Oasis, like, what do you rebuild to? There's no nap, and there's you just end up in this situation where anything can happen. And so if clock's gonna hit us, I might be on board now once this war is over, whenever it is, to just lay into the next domino, whoever that is. I don't know who it is. So I would recommend anyone not involved in this war to be very careful about rebuilding your infra. Normally I would not say that and hope that you build fat infra because, maybe we're going to chain it. And then once they get it, they're going to be pissed and they might chain it. And so
I think
now we just have this.
sorry. I think the
No, you're
worry
fine.
is for so this war right now, Blackwater, Hollywood are on the outside. Blackwater is probably in the same boat as Clock, right? Where they didn't lose a ton of infra. So now you're in the situation of, well, if this chaining is just going to keep happening, right? You have to at least ask the question of, well, why not get involved in this war, right? Why not jump in and get the fight over now instead of
Correct.
waiting a month?
Well,
So,
then Morph, what's stopping you? Where are you at?
that's just the conversation that you have to have of,
Do you feel exposed because you guys haven't gotten in?
you know,
I mean, just out of
if anybody wants to
curiosity.
hit us, they're gonna have a bad time. But it's at least a thought that you have to think about when you're on the outside, right? Like, okay,
Right.
Clock's hitting Rose now. What's going to stop Clock or Rose from hitting us as soon as they're done?
Right.
There's no guarantee they won't. So you at least have to again think about it. I'm not saying we're going to do anything, but it is a thought that Blackwater should be having it too. And like
I
you
mean,
said,
there's a medium.
Oasis should be having that too. There's
I
an
think the
There's a
immediate
best
medium
concern.
to medium high possibility that I will probably hit someone after this war. It might be a 1v1 alliance fight. I don't know. But like if I'm gonna have my infra shaved and we're chaining shit, like if Rose doesn't want to, that's fine. I may find someone and 1v1 it and just because that's what we're doing now.
See, I think part of the problem with this whole chaining thing, like we're a small community. We all know each other. Like there's probably 30 of us to 50 of us that make the decisions for everybody in this fucking game. Why don't those 20 to 50 just agree not to be dicks to each other? I know it's a fucking wild concept. I know this is like fucking extraordinary.
Because
But
everyone has
like,
different definitions of what being a dick is, and you can't do
n-
that. I'm a bigger dick than other people, and there are people who are a lot bigger dicks than me. I need to be careful how I say that. There are people who are a lot bigger douchebags than I am. uh,
I don't know, it
so,
just seems wild to me. Like we sit here and talk about, all this stuff that the chaining will bring, but like, the whole thing with NAPs is all they are is just a formal agreement to not hit each other. But like nothing's stopping anyone from breaking an NAP if they really wanted
correct.
to. So I mean,
Correct.
like it's the same shit. Like just agree not to be dicks to each other. After you're done getting rolled by clock or whatever, just agree. Hey, like I'm not gonna go add another domino to the chain because I'm not gonna be a dick. It's that simple. Like granted, I
Yeah,
get
but
it. It would,
I don't know if we want to do that. We
yeah,
may not
like
want
I
to do
know
that.
it wouldn't be beneficial, and I get it that it does nothing but benefit you to
No, it
continue the
doesn't
chain.
benefit us.
It does. It benefits you to continue the chain because if
Oh,
you're
yeah, yeah,
empathetic
yeah.
to the
Sorry.
chain, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
But yeah, no, that's my point though. Like I get it that it benefits you, but like I don't know. I've done a lot of things in this game that did not benefit me. And, I've taken a lot of peace deals that I really shouldn't have just because I thought to myself, like, do I want to be a dick? Like, this dude will probably VM or something if I don't fucking take this peace deal. Shit like that. Like, just think to yourself, what am I doing to this other player's experience? You got to have that conversation with yourself fucking when we're doing things like this. Because if you don't, you're going to get a bunch of assholes in this game that are just going to roll
Yep.
everyone out of the fun of it. And, like none of us are going to want to play because it won't be fun. So, like, you got to, like, be careful about chaining all these fucking hits. because it will backfire badly on every top AA because they'll end up killing the community by accident.
I do agree with that sentiment in a way. Like if Clock rolls Rose and then Clock rolls back around and then hits Hollywood or Blackwater, that's gonna very quickly get Clock on a shit list of all the major spheres, right? Like
Okay,
you have
but
to be
would it put
you have to be
Rose on the
careful.
shit list if they just continue the
I mean,
chain?
if Rose
Because
goes hit somebody else, I mean, it depends on the war too. Like,
the precedent has been set now that this is
oh yeah,
okay.
but you can also choose to not follow the precedent. But if Clock and Rose fight for a month and a half, you might not have the legs to go right back into it, right? Like you do have to have time to recoup war chests and etc. So I do think there will be a natural hold on the chaining, etc.
Already talked to Left Behind. This war is going to be 9 days, just so we can say we went longer than Oasis and have more stamina, and then we're just going into the next person. So it's basically like we're
Boy,
playing
come at me,
tag,
baby.
the
Come
little
at me.
kid game.
Come at me.
What? Hang on, we may not. I'm tired of fighting you. We did it the last 2 times. At least I'm glad it's Clock and not Hollywood. So maybe who knows? Someone else might be it, and then they have to go. And then that's just how wars are. It's boring. It's a set of dominoes that just keep going in a circle.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it's gonna have to be. A lot of this happened because Oasis rolled over quickly. Like that's at the end of the day.
Toxic. Wars are
Oasis.
boring when it's the same shit over and over again. That's what I'm saying. War is the funnest part of this game, but if it's the same alliances fighting or the same people doing the same shit over and over again,
I'm tired of
like-
fighting Rose. I'm tired of fighting
Yes.
Rose at this point. Maybe in 6 months I want to fight Rose again, but I fought Rose a bunch. I want new friends to yell at. So that's why I'm happy to announce here live that we're gonna go hit Camelot. I'm kidding. We're not
Yep.
actually doing that, but that'd be fun. So
Sorry about the cough. 6 months, like 2 days.
I would like to fight MPO now, but too bad they're gone. Hey,
Yeah, they
we
are
didn't
gone.
we didn't fight Rose last time. Rose fought us last time. Okay, that's
This is true. What the fuck? Why do I have to put this?
I mean, how long do we
I
think
think
this war
Rose
is
fought
gonna?
everyone this year.
How
So
long
can
do
we
we think
talk
this war is
for a
gonna
minute?
last?
I think this war will be a 2-week affair. I think it'll be over by week 3. I think Lefty is definitely pulling your leg vice. There won't be another fucking hit after this.
Oh, I totally made that up to fucking throw
Oh,
Lefty
okay.
under the bus. No.
Oh, okay, cool. I was about to say, like, he totally made that up. Like, there's no way.
I mean,
Hell.
I don't. I think
Clark
this
is
is.
fucking broke after
I think this war is gonna go to there at least until there's a clear winner-ish. Like Guns
Oh,
N'
for sure.
Roses, there wasn't a clear winner. I mean, there was a clear winner, but there wasn't. It's a white piece. This last war, it was a white piece, but there's a clear winner. Like this war, I think will get to a point where there's a clear winner, and I think just with how the tiering looks, it's going to be longer than 2 weeks to get there, unless Rose just crumples. But from what I saw, they were already doing much better with their counters than they did during all of Guns N' Roses. So like that's a good sign.
Well, they're doing better than their counters than they were against me the month I was pissing on them, that's for sure.
Well, and I think everyone knew this was as soon as word of the peace talks got out that it was happening. I think everyone knew either Rose or Hollywood was probably about to get a love tap. It was just a question of who. So it's not like no one was prepared for this potential.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like we were prepared if it was us today. Just like I'm sure Rose was very prepared that it was them today. Because
We knew a couple of days ago this was coming.
Yeah, they knew days ago.
I mean, I even reached out like to you yesterday, Morph, and was just like, we pretty much knew it was coming, and then we were just trying to decide if we wanted to go like offensive or not. But I did, although sometimes like alliances and clock can be sneaky, and so I was just like not. I was pretty sure, but then after today, I pretty much knew it was coming today.
Yeah, today was more clear, but the clock FA is always intriguing when you're talking with their FA team. They always keep you on your toes.
I bet it is.
Yeah, it is.
They make
Wait,
you they
Morph
make you
and
work for
Vice.
it.
If you guys were concerned that y'all might have been hit by clock, you guys should have just did what Mystery and Oasis did
Sign an
and sign an
MVP.
M level. But
I mean, we could have,
Spears.
we could have, but we chose not to because that was
Yeah,
dumb.
because you guys
Now,
are smart.
I
It
I,
was
I
dumb
kind of
when they
like
did it.
that. I kind of like that. At least this is somewhat even. I still think, again, it's like I'm obviously biased, but I still think that there's a slight advantage to having your Emperor shaved, because at the point, even though they're finishing up wars with Oasis, Oasis is like all you're doing is pulling your knife out of Oasis. It's not like your knife is dull or anything like that. You guys still have most of your military, and so you're shaved down a little bit, which is helping with down declares and things like that. Some of the down declares are pretty big, but I mean, still, it hopefully it evens it out with the tiering and stuff like that. But I think ultimately, if I had to guess, like looking at it, I think militarily clock will probably pull ahead. But it's still pretty early, and you never know. I think we're pretty jazzed up, and hopefully we put up a decent fight.
I definitely think Clock is going to pull ahead, only because not only do they have low infrastructure, but that last war they did not really lose any of their units, and they're coming at you guys like with fucking full units, and you guys were prepared, but Rose is really slow. Like your whole spear is like really slow to get its shit together when it comes to war. Like it's almost like fucking Mystery Inc. No joke. It's like that bad. Like you guys like fucking take days, and it should not take that long. But yeah.
Well, you gotta get the people on the board. That's the problem when you only have a couple point people that run FA when they're all in like one or two alliances. Also, yeah, that is a good point. Clock has blitz advantage, and blitz advantage is a huge deal
Yeah,
in war.
Bliss advantage is huge. Like the fact that they hit first is the only reason they'll probably win, regardless of the infrastructure and units. That like this game, like when it comes to equal fights, it's all about who gets to hit first.
Yeah,
And
if Rose would have blitzed
fucking equal
offensively, they
fights.
would have probably won.
Yeah, like
More than likely.
seriously, it would have happened that way. No joke. Like Rose would have definitely taken more monetary losses because their infrastructure is higher. But at the end of the day, like in a prolonged conflict, they would have been able to pin down all of fucking Clock Block's units and to where they couldn't rebuild. And Rose is about to have that happen to them, and there's not really anything they can do about it because they let us hit first.
Zazel, are you still in here, or did you go do your show? I think he jumped out to do his show.
Yeah, he's doing his own show.
Okay, all right.
I wasn't there supposed to be a giveaway or something?
Was that today?
It was. I think so. Krampus
There's a giveaway?
talked about it somewhere.
Oh yeah, he said he's gonna do it like after the show, but
What's he giving
It is a-
away?
money, 200 million.
I want free money. Krampus, you owe me money anyways.
But I
Fuck, give me
also
money.
think, I mean, it is like 2, 3 a.m. for him or something like that.
It says 200 million. React with this to enter ends on December 24th. Is that another one?
I think
Oh.
that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't. He's
just-
starting it today. If you go to Royal Orbis Radio, there's a giveaway. React to it, and then in 5 days they'll draw
Yeah.
and give the
Wait,
person.
don't
money.
shut it down
So
yet. I gotta react. There
you
we
can
go.
still win, Spanky.
Oh yeah, he just posted that today. Okay, never mind.
Also,
Lit.
Spanky, post the syndicate leaks now.
Yeah.
So
Show
look,
'em if
guys,
you got 'em.
I'll be honest with you all. I do have spies in the Syndicate and the Enterprise both. I have one guy in each AA. That said, I'm not leaking any of their shit until January, February because they need to get in a spot to where I can use them.
Oh, hang on. You guys did see something right. Thank you. Whatever. Baseball
Who
dude.
saw what?
Royal Orbis Radio will be hosting the last radio show before Christmas, which I didn't. I mean,
Yeah,
we might be
Krampus
doing
said
a
it would be during the show, but I think he just posted the actual like giveaway reaction in the
As part
middle
of
of the
Christmas
show.
festivities, we will be giving away 200 million to 4 lucky people. That's weird that the ARG bid was $800 million, and now all of a sudden Krampus is giving away $800 million. Let's just connect the dots here. I'm not saying
Yeah, that
something's up, but
fucking
something's up.
sucks.
So
That's
what you're
fucking
saying is we
weird.
should hit Krampus.
I think you should hit Blackwater, yeah, at least
Guys,
Nexus.
I heard you
only
wouldn't.
only $11.5 billion more to go.
It says I'm looking and I see 200 million to 4 people at
I think
whatever
it's
change
200
up posted
million two
in the
divided by
Balkans.
4.
I
So I
was going
think 4
to
people get 50 million.
yeah, I was going to do
Yeah,
it live on
during
the
the show.
show, but I was too lazy to do that. So this is
You could just give me 200 million, Krampus, and then
Yeah.
we'll call it even.
yeah, that
Krampus,
works.
give me 200 million.
Yeah.
I need to pay off a
I
city
need it.
loan.
I remember
keep-
us signing a contract with Krampus saying that we were getting paid for bringing the show here.
Each radio
Shit, do
host
I get
gets
paid for all
50.
my
Each
leaks
radio.
then? I give you a leak once a week. Where's my money, dog?
I mean, that's your business with him.
I'm just
We're
fucking
just
with
talking
you.
about radio show.
Guys, 800
Also,
million divided by 4 people. I think
We
that
should
works.
unionize Stalmore and Vice. All the radio shows hosts in a union.
Thalmore's gonna hate. Thalmore's gonna hate me for this, but we have radio hosts which will be presenting the annual awards. There's still time left to go win an award for yourself. So right now they're trying to I think last year there was too many awards, so they're trying to take a few out so it's a little more focused and like pinpoint. But just so you guys know, like the awards around the corner, biggest blunder, biggest, worst player, best player, all those things should be on there. You guys have a chance to still go and win those awards. And then whenever the voting is done, we're trying to make it so that voting is fair. And we might do it where there's like a popular vote and then like like a type of college vote, and like an elected like alliance representative vote. So because it's not fair for like in some instances TKR who might have a lot of people, if we did it where just each alliance gets 1 vote, that's not fair that someone who has a 10-man micro gets as much voting power as TKR. But then on the same hand, you don't want someone like TKR who live and breathe the forums, more so than a lot of other alliances. Yeah, but you guys have a lot of members who do post, like
That's fair.
compared to other alliances. You guys are involved in the forums a lot more, and so we don't want it to obviously be like a popularity contest where people like Rose can just like spam a bunch of votes, or like TFP spam a bunch of votes. So we might
Like when
do
Rose
both.
won Best FA that one year when they don't do FA. That was fun.
When they didn't do any FA, right? Exactly. So the idea is potentially to have your award for your elected representatives, and then your awards for the popular vote, and then during the radio show we will try and we won't be an official tiebreaker. We'll just talk about who we think is right between the 2 votes. They'll still, as of right now, this could change. This is not in pen, this is in pencil, but we'll have the show. And then if best FA went to like Camelot, and then also for like the popular vote it went to Rose, we can obviously say, oh, we think it's Rose for this reason or Camelot for this reason, and try and go there.
Wait,
So
there's a universe where Camelot gets Best FA?
Yeah, I was just trying to. It was sorry, sarcasm. So yeah, again, that's what we're trying to do. What the radio weighs in has nothing to do with the actual votes. We don't get a vote. We don't tie break it. We just will say on the radio what we think, and then we will just let whatever the votes be in the forum post are the winners. The radio actually will not weigh in. We won't tie break anything, so don't worry. We're just here to present it and then tell you how stupid all of you are.
But vote for Morph.
Right, vote for Morph. So I think the team's still trying to nail down what all the awards are, but just want you guys to know that that's coming. I don't know. Is there anything else worth talking about in the war? Valmore, Morph.
I mean, did you see that beautiful? Did you see that beautiful image shared in chat of Tyrion talking about how he hates loser weapons?
And then
Yeah,
all the
that's
loser weapons are
hard.
losing.
That's hard.
In
That
his
made-
defense, like you can complain
I
about
get it,
something,
Tyrion.
but
Tyrion,
if it's
you know I
still
love you.
normal,
I love you, Tyrion.
yeah,
It's
like
just funny.
you can
That's funny.
complain about something because you don't like it, and then still be forced to use it in a situation because that's how the game operates.
Oh,
Like
I get it. It's just
I
funny.
understand. It's a funny picture. It gives me a headache looking at it, but it is funny. Like you have
You're
to
my boy,
admit, like
Tyrion.
it's like saying you don't like highways, but sometimes you still have to get on them for long distances because it's there and you might as well. But yeah,
And life is a highway.
Can we talk
just
about how
happy to have you
good
back on here more.
IKEA and Gato did this last war, though? Like, for two micros that were supposed to be so shitty, they did fucking awesome.
Yeah, the same thing was said during the Delta Johnson's War about that fucking Imperial Prussia, Imperial Roman Union, whatever, and they're fucking no one now. They've rolled into what's his name's alliance,
Empire of
Roberts.
the Romans, baby.
Yeah, they rolled into there. So
Who are taking the ARG tickling like a champ. You know, they're like, tickle me, ARG. They
but I do like when those alliances, smaller alliances, do have a good run. Like I think it's cool. I'd like to see smaller alliances that aren't thought well of show up and make it happen. I haven't looked at many
I'd
people's
like to see it
stats this
too.
war, but I mean, I'd like to see more people getting better at the game. I think.
How's Voodoo doing, Vice? Are you guys having fun?
Yeah, I think we're having fun. Not think like I know a lot of us are having fun. There's people like Ketya who was basically bored all nap and he was just like antsy and ready to roll. We're definitely like just happy to be in a war. I think going into the holidays it kind of sucks because like I agree like I didn't really care to be fighting during Christmas, but I'll make it happen, especially if I'm trying to help coordinate stuff. It takes a lot more time. It's not like just you log on, do your wars and log off. So but it's fine, like whatever. I enjoy a war and I would take a war over Christmas over no war. So I would say all in all, it's looking up. Although I did make a mistake already. I was running through my Blitz sheet that I generated. I think I already said this. And I accidentally declared on a Hand of Fate C32 because the link was next to the one I was supposed to hit. And I just was trying to get them in before the Blitz because we were waiting and waiting and waiting for the Blitz and it didn't come till like 10 till. So I started doing all my wars. Yeah, 10 till. They waited 10 till to start declaring.
I mean, when the servers are actually not shit, you can wait.
Yeah, they were great. I got some counters, like counter offensive wars in. And I was doing it so fast, I opened up a link and then it closed and I thought I hit it open again and declared. And it was a 8 city up declare into a C32 with Max Mill and it was a total accident. So it was I can't remember who it was. It's someone oh Namukara Isterin.
You're just trying to get rid of your Emperor quicker.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine.
hey, whatever. Yeah, so that's gonna be. He's online right now. Okay, well there goes my Air Force, but it's yeah, he's probably gonna
Just one ship him like a man. Challenge him.
give me a dollop. I might as well. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, after we get off here, I've got to go look at all the wars going on because I really haven't assessed it. I was out to dinner, all the declares came in, and then came home, did the radio show, and then now I got to go take a look at stuff. I just got spied 2 minutes ago.
Oh, that was me. Sorry, man.
I do have one thing to say, and I guess it's a bit of self-promotion, but I feel bad about how the schedule worked out. At 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 40 minutes ago, Azazel left to do his show over at Thalmoria, and he had Borhan on as a guest tonight, and they're still doing that. So as we're wrapping up here, if any of you guys want to go listen to George interview Borhan, go do it at Thalmoria, and a link to that can be found in the Royal Orbis Radio tab below.
Yeah, it would be really cool if we could all go raid that show. We can talk about this more. I think a lot of people are gonna have plenty of shit to say. I appreciate you guys all coming. It's already at an hour and 10 minutes, so we'll try and keep it to an hour because sometimes we'll end up with a Hollywood War night 3.5 hour show, which I hope would never happens again. Even though I had a lot of fun.
Dude, that was so fun.
Dude, that was a good time. I probably, I mean, it took so long. I definitely took like 2 pisses during that like whole show while we were drinking because it just took so long.
There will
I did
never
have a lot
be
of
a better radio
Dude.
moment than James's unmute me in the middle
Yes,
of
I was just about to bring that up. I was just about to say that. Dude, the fucking when he came on and he was he was destroying his microphone. He literally had it in the back of his throat. And we were like, "James, dude, you gotta calm down." He's like, "I'm at the airport. I've been here all fucking day. I'm so pissed." And oh my god, I fucking fell out of my chair. Oh, dude.
Airports are cool.
Hi,
Yeah,
I'm
James
James.
Wilson.
Incoherent
James
screen
Wilson.
make- Holy shit, dude. That had me so fucking weak. Oh my god, I will remember that probably as long as I play this fucking game.
And that was to be fair, there's also a, hey, let's talk about this blitz. Oh shit, there's a counter blitz going on in the middle of the show. So that was
No,
fun.
that wasn't James yelling at Pre. That was James yelling at Morph and Weisel, and I don't think Benfro was on at that
I
point.
think
But you guys
Lefty was
definitely had
on,
someone
maybe?
else there. Maybe. I just remember there being like 3 or 4 TKR people, and dude, yeah, that shit that you posted, that was fucking funny too. This one right here. Yeah, so I just remember it was about the Hollywood formation, and everyone was saying to James it was secret treaties, and he was trying to say that it was because of consolidation,
Virginia
and a bunch of other stuff.
consolidation,
But
baby.
let's not. Oh my God, let's not rehash that. Jesus, talk about beating a dead horse. So, anyways, he came on, and dude just went from 0 to fucking 60 miles an hour in like half a second. Oh, that was so fucking good. Even on TFP, I was like, dude, I'm on your side, and I have my hands like my face buried in my hands.
Why did you come on from an airport? I don't know, but it was awesome.
Dude? And I don't know where you can be at in an airport and yell at a microphone like that and not like have people
Anywhere.
looking at you hardcore.
Oh no, they were
He's-
probably definitely staring at his ass then. Yeah.
Dude, he was in the Applebee's waiting for his plane.
Oh, dude, PF Chang's at
Go
least.
to Applebee's, his port server was like, "The fuck's wrong with this dude?"
Dude. Oh god. Yeah, that was really good. All right. Thank you guys all for coming. Go raid Almoria and listen to the show. I don't know what they're talking about, but I will say that I've done radio shows with Azazel before, and I actually like his radio shows. He used to do them with Epi, which was
An adventure.
you know how people think about that. They're interesting, but I do like some. I think Azazel does a good job on radio. So go listen to him, guys. And all the hosts who stepped in, thank you for doing it.
Thank
Oscar
you.
Krapus, Stop trying to hide from handing out the $800 million that you somehow got
Got
for the ARG hit.
Yeah, Krampus.